Over here is a sad area. Last time I watered my plants, I told you about all of these upstairs plants, and I asked if you wanted to see the downstairs plants, and I got a resounding yes. We would like to hear about the downstairs plants. Whoa, did not realize there were so many plant people out there. I'm actually really, really happy. That is plantastic. No, we're not using it. Okay, so I'm just gonna do these upstairs ones really quick, and then I'll take you downstairs and we'll talk about those plants. It's gonna be a good day after all. Look. New plant babies. There's one right there, and there's one right there, and there's one. This one looked like that yesterday, and it became a leaf today, a brand new baby leaf. Hello, we love you. We love you so much. Welcome to the family.
Honey, I made you breakfast, fresh coffee and bagels too. A new day is waiting for us, we got lots of fun stuff to do.
Plants, downstairs, part 2. So this is my money tree. I don't know what it's called. Like, I don't know what the actual name of this tree is, but they call it a money tree, so we're going with it. This guy loves it here. I put this here as a temporary spot when I was trying to figure out where to put it, and it just looks so good. I love coming down the stairs and entering the living room, and he's just there greeting me. He's gotten so big. This actually is a brand new leaf that just came in within the past week. When I first got him, he was like this tall, and now he's like this tall. Does that mean my money is growing? Because yes, please. Please, I want it, please. Joe, are you helping doing the tour? Thank you, you're so sweet. Joe knows a lot about plants. This is our resident botanist. He knows a lot. He knows a lot-nist. Sad, sad news. I used to have my favorite plant right here. It was a croton plant, and it is currently in the plant graveyard outside over there. It got so many spider mites over a year ago, and I battled them for a good year, maybe like a little over a year, by using neem oil and a soap mixture, and they would go away for like 2 months, and then they would come back in full force, and they would destroy any new leaves or any new foliage that was coming in. Right, Franklin? So after putting up the good fight for a year, I went on vacation, and when I came back, the plant was just completely destroyed. So I just let it die, and I was very sad because that was my favorite plant, and I really fought hard for it, but in the end, the spider mites won. Speaking of spiders though, this is a spider plant up here, right here. I have not been great to this plant. It's very hard for me to water it up there. It doesn't get good drainage, and so for a little bit I was like over watering it because the water wasn't draining out, so it was getting like root rot or whatever. But I will say that when I'm regularly putting in this thing, 1 to 2 times a week, I fill this with water, I put it in there. This plant thrives here. It just isn't in the best shape right now. It's a little droopy because it's been a little over a week since I've used this guy. Also, when I was sick, I made an oopsie and I didn't water it for 2 weeks. And I'm sorry, please love me, please forgive me. These are very forgiving plants though, I will say. Like, once you start watering it regularly again, it's like, hey, no big deal, I'm good, I got you. So I love him for that. This guy, I forget the type of plant this is called. It's like Draconius or it sounds like a Harry Potter spell. It is the most perseverant plant I have ever owned. I got it when I first moved to LA 12 years ago, 13 years ago? I moved to LA 13 years ago, and this is the very first plant I bought when I moved to my apartment because I wanted to have some sort of greenery. I had no idea on how to take care of plants. I had never had a plant before. I thought you just water it like once a week. Actually, my boyfriend at the time took good care of it when it was in our apartment, and then when I moved out and we broke up, he told me how to take care of it. He said water it once a week with this like cup full of water, this like tall cup that we have. It's like 16 ounces of water, and that's what I do. And it's been around for 13 years through the worst conditions. Like, there were times where I didn't water it for like a month, like I'd forget. and it just continued loving. It has been thriving since we moved here. One, because there's natural light in here and we didn't have natural light in our old apartment. And two, because the ceilings are so tall, it used to smash up against my apartment ceiling and I don't think that was good for it. But here, I have never seen this. This just happened within the past few weeks. Do you see this growth at the top? There's like flowers growing. It has never grown flowers like this. And I think it might be because it's at the end of its cycle, which I don't know what that means. Should I cut the flowers off? I don't know what that means. This happened on another plant I have and people were like, oh, it's at the end of its cycle. And I'm like, what? That sounds like death. Should I do something? I've never seen it grow flowers. I didn't even know this plant could grow flowers. 13 years, no flowers. This past week, flowers. What? Why? A lot of new stuff happening the week. So yeah, plants always surprise me. So these are the three that are in the living room. And normally this plant is in that corner where the Christmas tree is, but obviously Mr. Christmas Tree needs his corner space. So when we take that down, it'll move back. Everything will be different. But let's move to the kitchen. In the kitchen, I have this plant up here that needs to be watered. And this needs a little different type of watering than my watering can, like the other ones. For a while, the leaves were turning yellow and I didn't understand why it was dying even though I was watering it. And it was because it didn't have proper drainage. This is the same problem I had with my peace lily plant that I have upstairs that's now thriving upstairs because I figured out how you're supposed to water it. So you're supposed to, well, at least for these particular ones, I'm gonna run this under the sink and get it just completely soaking wet with water, just like all of the soil gets wet, and then make sure that it gets completely drained out the bottom before I put it back on top of the fridge. And then that's it. Super easy. Also a really good beginner plant if you are wondering what plant to get and you don't want to kill one. They don't need much light. I think this is a pothos plant and they don't need much light, and that's all I do for watering it. Run it under the sink once a week and it just sits up here all nice and pretty all year long. I love a low maintenance plant. Oh, also if you're into propagating, which is creating new plants from plant trimmings, this plant is really good for propagating. You just trim like whatever leaves you want off of here and you put it in a glass of water and they start to grow roots, and it could just survive like that in a glass of water. So if you want to like decorate your house with a bunch of plant leaves, you can just put them in a vase and boom, like put them in a little mason jar and like you have plant decorations everywhere. Over here is a sad area. This is my plant graveyard. Okay, I'll start with these. So these are herbs and they were thriving at one point. I know it's disgusting now, but there was a basil plant, a mint plant, and a dill plant, and they were on the windowsill because they need lots of sunlight. If you are thinking about growing your own herbs, they were wonderful when I had them. I had them for a good 6 months or like at least a whole summer, and I would add them to pastas and I would make drinks with them. It was great. But the thing about them is they need lots of water. So they need to be watered like every single day. And girl can just not keep up with that kind of schedule or maintenance. I believe they died when I went to Costa Rica in 2018, but I was more concerned with getting rid of my husband's kidney stones on that trip than I was with recovering my plants. So they died. Yeah, they've been there for a year dead. I keep planning on decluttering this whole room, so I just keep waiting for that, which is gonna happen this week. Just a reminder for me to declutter, which then never happens. This was a Christmas present. It's a succulent. I heard that succulents are easy to take care of, but I've never been good with them. I really suck at succulents. This is an olive tree, which I don't know if is dead yet. It was thriving here. It needs lots of light as well. And I didn't water it when we went to the Bahamas, and now all the leaves are dry and brittle regardless of how much I water it. But I will water it today. It needs the same kind of watering as the pothos plant, where I just run it under the sink and like let it drain out. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's dying, and I don't know if I can save it. I really wanted to it's in this pot because I wanted to repot it and put it upstairs in a basket that I bought. But like, I don't know if you're dying, you know? I was gonna say that's all the downstairs plants. No, there's this guy, another snake plant, which I'm gonna put into a planter soon. I just have to figure out where I want him to go. And then I just bought this Pilia plant, which is a Chinese money plant. So many money plants. I want to repot this one too. I just bought this from Trader Joe's for like $3, and we'll see what happens. I'll let you know. So yeah, Mr. Olive Tree, you get a bath. You get a bath. So yeah, that's it for the downstairs plants. Hope you enjoyed that. Next time we will talk about these outdoor plants because they need some work, and also there are many thoughts I have about this lemon tree and also these other snake plants. It's also kind of a graveyard out there, and I will talk about it when we talk about it next time.
Growing up is just a big fat trap. I take pride in never working a day. Can't see the use of it anyway. Who can think I'm such a